The holiday season is universally seen as a time for rest and celebration, for merriment, togetherness, and most of all, entertainment. At Auburn High School, this love of entertainment is carried on year-round by our staff in the Performing Arts Department. Each year, Kim Mock, Aaron Smith, and Rusty Logan devote their time and effort to showmanship and skill through plays, concerts, shows, and our high school's annual Holiday Spectacular. Right now, you're viewing the wind-up of each division of the performing arts coming together to present their students in the spirit of the holidays. During the show, theater, choir, and our honors band team up and go all out as a sort of farewell to the first semester. This year, our theater department has finished its fall production of William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, with our choir having finished its varsity season gearing up for the show choir competitions. Band is also closing out with the fall supper concert, and our marching band will be marching in the Auburn City Christmas Parade. As you can see, the department is always busy year-round, but no matter what, our students always give their all for the love of the show. Today, we decided to meet with the directors and hear their opinions on the show, the department, and the semester.
Here at Auburn High School, it's really awesome, first of all, that the three departments, choir, band, and theater, work collaboratively together. That doesn't happen in all high schools, and when it does, it's fabulous. And so we're very blessed to work together during Spring Musical, but we started 2 years ago the Holiday Spectacular, which is a time where all the departments, three departments, come together, and we celebrate the holiday time, Christmas time, and Hanukkah, and just the different celebrations that are dear to our students and dear to us. And so the band will play and the choir will sing, and sometimes many times together. And we as theater have found our way of incorporating into that venue, doing readers theater. And so this year we did a piece entitled The Polar Express, because the band was going to be playing the Polar Express, so we try to tie together with what they're doing thematically. And we did a dramatic pantomime reading of the Polar Express, which was quite fun. And then the second piece that we did was a dramatic reading of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, which is a very classic Christmas poem. And it was just a lot of fun. And we have to choose something that we can do in a simple venue, not a lot of staging, not a lot of scenery, but still has impact into the theme of the evening. And that's what we chose this year.
We then sat down with Ms. Mock to get her views and impressions on her students' performance in the Auburn High School production of William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing.
Well, two words that I would use to describe this play are fun and fabulous. And I know, if you know me, and anybody who knows me knows that I use fabulous all the time, but it was truly a fabulous production, and it was a lot of fun. So much fun. It was great. This show went incredibly well. It was very pleasing to not have any major technical difficulties throughout the process. I had a great cast to work with. We even incorporated a jazz band into our show, and Dr. Logan rehearsed with them, and that helped me out a good bit. And then they just came and integrated into our final rehearsals, and everything just ran very nicely, very smoothly, which is unusual in our theater department. It was nice. Well, first of all, the kids love the play. Here at Auburn High School, we study that particular play in regular theater, and since the play is high prose and not so much verse, a lot of students can relate to it. I mean, it has the Shakespearean language, but it's not a ton of it, so it's just easier for them to speak. It's easier for them to comprehend. And then, of course, the play itself is about hearsay, gossip. I mean, it's high school, but in a different setting. So all the things that they can relate to. So they really like those characters, and they're very dynamic. The characters interact dynamically with one another. They fight a good bit, and there's deception and all the things that make great not only theater but television and stuff that students can relate to. I'm going to say that this is one of the first shows that and maybe not the first show, but there have been very few shows that we've done here at Auburn High School, and I'm rambling a bit, where as a director you don't look back and say, I kind of wish we would have tweaked this, but I don't think there is anything that I would change about this show. I loved the setting. I loved the cast was awesome. It was nice to incorporate a lot of extras in the cast for a play that already, that Shakespeare wrote to have such a small cast. Setting it in a hotel offered us the opportunity to have visiting guests and guests that were dining in the hotel. And so it opened it up in a way that I wasn't really sure was going to happen when we started out. And so when I look back, I really don't think there's anything that I would change. I really have no regrets for this show.
We then decided to talk to Dr. Logan about the beginnings of the Holiday Spectacular and some of the performances that he and his several bands have been working towards this season.
I'm Dr. Logan. I've been the band director here for 24 years now. I do all the band programs here, the symphonic band, the honors band, the jazz band, the marching band. I teach an IB music class. I teach a music theory class. I saw something like this a couple of years ago at a Troy University concert that I went to, and I said, that's really kind of cool. And I came back and talked to Mr. Smith and Ms. Mock about putting it together, involving the theater, the band, and the choir, all the performing arts, to see if we could just present something to the community at the holiday season. Just trying to give something back to the community because they do so much for us.
We then asked Dr. Logan about this year's marching season and his band's invitation to the ABA concert.
Going fine. We had a really successful marching season. I think the marching band went really well. We enjoyable shows. We played the music of the Beatles for some of the shows, and that's a lot of fun. The honors band just finished about 2 weeks ago playing for the Alabama Music Educators Association conference. That's an invitation-only type thing. You apply for it, you send in a tape, and then you play for the music educators of the state. They were telling me there were between 15 and 17 bands that applied. The year before, you submit a tape and an application and some letters of recommendation from different music educators from throughout the state. Basically, last year's band got invited to play because it was their tape. But you project what you're doing for the next year, and you kind of think, well, I think next year's band will be as good as this year's, if not better, so I'll submit a tape. And then they go through an adjudicated process where they have people listen to the tapes and look at the recommendations and everything, and then they ask the band to play.
We then talked to Mr. Aaron Smith about the choir's involvement in the Holiday Spectacular, as well as the several performances that he and his singers present every year.
Oh, you better watch out. Oh, you better watch out. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I tell you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Smith. I'm the choral director here at Auburn High School. For choir, we have several different performances throughout the year. We do a fall choral concert, Christmas spectacular with the band and choir and theater. We also do a show choir competition season in the spring, and then we have a dessert cabaret, and then a spring show in May at the end of the year. We do some combined numbers with the band that we do every year, Merry Christmas, and we also do a Christmas Carol medley at the end with the band, and we also did a selection for varsity and Eline separately as well as a part of the concert. We had a very successful fall choral concert. The kids I have a lot of 10th grade guys in choir, and they were really young coming in, but they were able to achieve a very great sound for the fall choral concert, and I was just really pleased overall with all their stuff.
Following our discussion of the Christmas Spectacular, Miss Mock then detailed to us her preparations for her next show in the spring of the 2013 semester.
Right now we're getting ready to mount Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. It is a comedy, and it's set in Victorian England in the late 1800s. Again, it's written by Oscar Wilde, who is a fabulously witty writer, excellent writer. There are two main characters in our play, two gentlemen, Jack and Algernon, and both of these men present themselves to others at given times in the play as Ernest. As their name being Ernest, which is a pun on the word earnest, because as we know, the word earnest means to be honest and sincere, and these gentlemen are anything but honest and sincere when they present themselves to individuals.
Also, Dr. Logan gave us a detailed explanation of exactly what the band supper concerts are, as well as a list of the groups that perform at them each year.
Supper concert is where we sell dinner plates. This has been going on since the early 60s. This is where all the bands in the school district play for a concert. We start with the 7th grade beginning band, and it goes up through every concert band in the school district. So it winds up being about 6 or 7 different bands that play. The 7th grade band goes through the 3 junior high bands, and then the 2 high school bands play. And then before that, we serve a meal, and that's a sort of a little quasi fundraiser for us. Gets the people out, they buy the meals, they eat the dinners, and then they hang around for the concerts.
Dr. Logan was also kind enough to tell us about the Auburn High School Jazz Ensemble and the Auburn High School Marching Band.
Jazz band is a class. It meets 4th period on blue days. Real happy that it's a class because a lot of places they have to do their jazz band outside of school time. We're really lucky that we can actually schedule it into the school time. We do 4 or 5 concerts a year. We did the fall Halloween concert that we did back, I guess, October 27th, something like that, where the students get to dress up in Halloween costumes if they like to. That's always a fun thing to do. We do a winter concert that's in conjunction with the junior high jazz band, where we go and we play a couple of tunes, they play a couple of tunes, we alternate back and forth, and then we play a song together at the end. We always play, for the last 15 or so years, we've played for the Catholic Church, and we do a concert at the end of the year. It's just a different type of playing than the students get sitting in a concert band situation. It's more a different genre of music, so it's a lot of fun. You have to be in one of the concert bands to be in marching band. Either here or at the junior high. The 9th graders can march if they want to, and we had about 60 9th graders march this year. So you go through a placement audition for the band program, and you get placed at the high school. You get placed either in the honors band or the symphonic band. And then, if you're placed in one of those bands, then you're welcome to be in the marching band if you'd like to be. It takes a lot of work. We rehearse 3 days a week after school for an hour and 15 minutes a day. During the summer, we put much more time than that. We probably put more time during the summer in than we do once the school time start. We'll start rehearsals a couple of afternoons a week, starting early July. Come in for like 2 afternoons a week for a couple of hours a day. Start working on the music. As July builds toward the end, we will put in some more time, longer days. We have a week of what we call our band camp, which we do 8 to 12 rehearsals in the morning. We take the afternoon off, but we may come back and do uniforms in the afternoon, something like that, pass out uniforms. And then we come back and do about 2.5 hours that evening. So it's like a 2-a-day thing, athletic type situation where you do 2-a-days. And then once school starts, like I said, we only do 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays after school. But it's a lot of fun. Students have to be able to play their music, and then they have to figure out where to go on the field and how to form all the different forms that we do. So I think the students enjoy it. Marching band is a voluntary organization here. They're not required to be in marching band if they're in the band. We had 170 people in the marching band this year. So with 170 people who want to be out there, we must be doing something that's enough fun, and they enjoy it enough, and they get enough out of it that they want to be there.
Along with Dr. Logan, Mr. Smith was able to give us a detailed run-through of his show choir spring performance, the choral groups involved, and their awards and accolades.
Yeah, Elon, we'll start with Elon, and they've won 2 grand championships at their first 2 competitions, and their show is all about girl power. We do a song called Rock What You Got by Super Chick, Miss Independent by Kelly Clarkson, a song called Brave by Indina Menzel, who is the original Elphaba in Wicked. It's a Indina Menzel original. And then we do a medley from Legally Blonde, the musical, and then close with a mashup of Stronger by Kelly Clarkson and Fighter by Christina Aguilera. So they've won Best Choreography at both of the competitions and won the Grand Championship for the women's division. The Varsity Singers, their show is called Running Away. They do Running Away by Hooba Stank, going to Hold On by Wilson Phillips, If I Walk Away by Josh Groban, I'm Gone by Los Lonely Boys, and then the girls do It's About That Walk by Prince, guys do Runaway Baby by Bruno Mars, and then we finish up with Never Wave My Flag by Mary Mary. And it's been a great show. It's an exciting show. We threw in a little dubstep at the end, and it's been a pretty big hit. But Varsity has won first runner-up at both of their competitions, and just recently won Best Vocals at the last competition in Albertville. You know, from week to week, we always it's kind of like looking at game film, and we kind of see the performance and see what we did well, see what we need to fix. And so there's fixes from week to week that we change, and so the show is always evolving and getting better as the competition season progresses.
And lastly, in this series of interviews, Ms. Kim Mock expressed interest in extending an invitation to any prospective performing arts students.
Here at Auburn High School, we have a fabulous performing arts department. Whether you get involved in choir, band, or theater, just get involved. Many students come back and say, those are my most memorable moments in high school. So if you want to be a part of that kind of experience, plug in somewhere, and we would love to have you.